Church Day. Church going folk. Happy Community Day. We had a very special week. As you can tell by my already raspy voice, but a bit more raspy this morning. It was an exhausting week. Big brother Jeff Friday put me to work, and I don't know how to do it any other way. The Miami Heat were putting themselves to work. And they didn't know how to do it. It was special. It was very ABFF-ish. And when we think of ABFF, we obviously think of the natural moniker that it stands for, as my beautiful 7-month-old daughter screams, "Yes, Papa, yes." That is her up top. American Black Film Festival. That's yes. No, that's correct. And that's obvious. But we think here that it stands for even more than that. It's extremely symbolic to artistry, bravery, fierce, and more importantly, as our ancestors hopefully roll over and do somersaults in their graves at this moment and at this word, free.
Focus, flash, finessing photographs like Borden Parks, painting profound pictures, Basquiat, writers, not writers, wordsmith weaving words with the weight of the world way too heavy, but still managed to hold the pen steady like Richard Wright, Alice Walker, August Wilson, Amiri Baraka, or me, that quiet kid composing cans of cacophonies after being forgotten by his father. We had to be brave.
Brave. Brave like the slaves, and not just those that got away, but those that had to stay and endure the hate to ensure the escape of their brethren who were so close to the hate that they smelled and taste like protesters do in Tiananmen Square. Who would even think that they would have to avoid tanks where their skin was pulled back and you could no longer see anything but bone and hair, and their flesh was pierced? They had to be, so fierce.
Fierce, ferocious, like lions and locusts, with dogged determination and insubordinate focus, knowing that hope gets you only so far, and prayer a little bit farther. But to reach that finish line requires grind like Jordan in the fourth quarter, and tenacity and spine is in order to get to where you want to be. Standing at that free throw line, we all know that even free throws ain't free. Free, stone free like Hendrix with a pen. Way back when, underneath the blue light, he would write. And he was a black man, rocking and rolling, strolling and souling. Free like me, with black stage underneath my feet. I feel the Miami heat. Free, but also fierce. Free, fierce, and also this. You have to.
You have to do this. You have to.
Get up! Get out of your seat and mark me down. We are shadows, seen during the day, but really we are shackled to the shadows of our society. It is the standard to stay mentally stagnant, but when we don't stay in our places, we are labeled mentally unstable. See, the man, he is in the light. He merely lets us get a glimpse of the glistening shine, so we feel we get our shine on. Grills, chains, cars, and rings, happy in the dark with our few toys. But it's a ploy, the wealthy applied, and it's been set in place in Sophocles. Action. Ask your cat that's acting. Are you actually independent? Is that an architect the man typed into your script? We subliminally follow the words spoken from his lips, puppets in his grip, the same day-to-day with these politics. Do you ever wonder why? There's never anything new on the news, just then. Hood went for some goodies, but you don't win when robbers are dating hoodies. But if it was your son, you would be in disarray, like when bombs burst and disrupt your day, or like the tragic scene in Act 2 of the play. They don't pass acts, we need to make the act. We cannot stand still like the innocents killed and paid for the play bill. They will feed you half of the lie and half of the truth. We tweet both, now we don't know it's true that convicts do take shots of scotch before noon. They come to my school speaking about being above the influence. Then at 2, is at a liquor store around the corner telling the cashier there is no hope for the youth. Hypocrisy, 100 proof we've followed the prince of the hooves and the sand by the man, but too long has he been marked down. You need to check the list of men hit that try to change his ways. At MOK, it's time to change the frame. Now mark me down onto your hit list, because no longer will I be taking the shots on the gloomy corner blocks where ice cream trucks and ambulances and comedy with a sweet sound of their honesty going into shots that Mustafa had on lock while the was about our dodging pops will get fed me with physical shots and I will endure. We will break through the shadows that we've been cast into. Get up. Get out of your apathy. We can no longer stay stationary and top moral conflict. Live in your convictions. Don't orchestrate from the archetype. Tip the scale with creativity so the weight of these heavy thoughts can break through the shadows that sedates us in this enslaved mind. Now mark me down. This poetic enlightenment depicted into hieroglyphics carved in the time shift, the pyramid flip, the script is cryptic, no longer born with coals, we were lifted, we are lifted, once lifting stones, the bitter society dripping, blood from the shackles to fitting, shift the pyramid, let the wealthy feel the weight of raising poor children, knowing that they have to rise above when the odds against them, let the man shoulder the shadows, shift the pyramid onto its tip, carve your name into what's been known to be his, because we are no longer slaves, so this is our ship. Get up, dance to the light, mark me down, and walk with me into history.
Get up. Mark me down and walk with me into history, because we are brave. We are free. We are fierce. We possess eyes that pierce through lies. We keep focused. We keep our eyes on the prize. And when someone's about to tear us down, we rise from the ground like skyscrapers. And you're scraping to get a piece of me? Well, I want to see what you're made of. I want to see if bravery lives in your bones, if freedom rings in your ears, and you're fierce instead of fearful, because we are brave. And we are free. And we are fierce. We are predators. Like eagles in the sky, we have one thought in our minds, and that is success. And we don't take a rest. We don't let a breath pass by where we're not vying for our dreams, where we're not busting the seams of stereotypes. You can stereotype me into the category of leader, of one who is not fearful. Take my hand. I will walk you into the promised land. You will feel fire in our veins. We are the growth of grass after it rains, growing pains, and we're turning those pains into something revolutionary. But the revolution will not be televised. It will be viewed through the eyes of the younger generation. It will be something you have to have faith in. More words you must say, because we are brave, and we are free, and we are fierce. And through sheer madness, we grasp this power. We are what this country was founded for. We are the calm after the storm, the light at the end of the tunnel, the prequel and the sequel to treating everybody equally. Yes. Yes. So you can judge us. You can judge everyone that surrounds you, but know that one day the light will have found you. It will open your eyes to our bravery and our freedom and our fierceness, and you will never forget this moment. These potent words you've heard are nothing but the of a lion. These potent words you've heard are nothing but the of a lion, the roar of so many centuries of bravery that have been ignored, of freedom that's never been recognized for fierceness you thought we didn't have more of. But I'm short of one thing. Our footprint is everlasting. We made our mark on hollow ground, and the sound of our footsteps. Birds fly away from the branches because they know greatness is coming. Adrenaline is running. Nothing is something is everything. And through the vibrations of our vocal cords, we can change the world. We can do more than set ID and let life pass by. We are your game changers, dream chasers, and playmakers, and we're not pretending. This world is ours for the taking, so if you want to be a part of this great society, I need you to show me that you are brave, and you are free, and you are fierce. What about history? Or his story? What about hers? Or theirs? We went from only being heard and barely seen. Then in 1910, Hattie McDaniel became the first African American to win an Academy Award. Now they want us in scenes, but today we have black women on TV making a mockery of her achievement, and I guess it's okay since they're gone with the wind fabulous. I guess it's okay since they're gone with the wind fabulous. So I guess we act on scene reality TV buffoons. I'm down with supporting my people, but I'm sorry that it's loose coonery and we're human. Sometimes we get mad, I'm sure you can understand that, but I don't remember giving you the go-ahead to publish my diary. What you don't realize is that you are the cause
I guess we'll have to be smarter. I guess we'll have to work a little bit harder, because I can sit here all day and tell you how men abuse better assets and women judged by their assets. It isn't fair. And in order to move up in the professional social ladder, they'd rather we prepare to straight hair and talking like them, because our alternatives are changing. But if I walk into a room full of my people sounding like, oh my God, I need a latte.
Oh my God, I need a latte.
I be ridiculed. Funny, ain't it? You see, being a woman and being colored is what my father calls double jeopardy. But I thought being tried twice for the same offense violated the Fifth Amendment were a minority. And even still, we managed to accomplish a few things like getting some women into a male-dominant industry. Allison McDonald, Kim Fields, Jasmine Dye, and Shonda Rhimes with Grey's Anatomy scandal showing us that black women can't be handled, so let's continue on this incline.
Yes.
Take him to church!
Some people think that all black men good for is playing basketball, you know, stepping back and shoot. And if not that, then we on every corner of America, you know, stepping back and shoot. Some people think that the jailhouse mentality wasn't planted in our roots. No, businessmen and criminals. We just so happen to look good in our suits and how do we get from killing and stealing, right? But I'm just here to kill my stereotypes, and yes, I am still fighting for my right to be free, but white, so you wonder what it's like to be me. I'm so looked down upon. People don't expect me to speak fluently and show manners the way I do. I'm supposed to be talking like this dog and slinging drugs to my crew.
I'm supposed to be talking like this dog and slinging drugs to my crew. I'm supposed to have an infinite amount of baby mamas, and they all supposed to be on child support. I'm supposed to leave my son at birth and not show my child support, but how can you not love, nurture, water a seed and expect it to grow? I do not know, but we're supposed to let it go with the flow. We can't even ask a complex question without them
Thinking that they know it.
We can't drive a lavish car down the street without them
Thinking that we stole it.
There's black people dying every day, but we don't make TV. Instead, they talk about how little Timmy fell and scraped his knee, and George Zimmerman can actually kill a black kid and the police will let him escape. But what if George Zimmerman was black and Trayvon Martin was white? Let's switch places for a second. Let's really open up our minds and switch races for a second. Do you think that a police would have let a black man kill a white kid and he would have been let go?
No.
He would have been shot right there on the scene, and if he would have survived, then he would have been put on death row, and death knows exactly who it wants, so you better duck before it finds you. And the color of your skin does not necessarily define you. The fact that black people built this country is something that we've been blind to. Instead, they look down and tell us the cliche secret that we can achieve anything we put our mind to. But don't you dare let them tell you that you're nothing, and you have nothing to stand for. I wish I could put all of my black peers on my back like a jam sport. Somebody could walk in right now and yell, nigga, and I wouldn't even turn my head, because a nigga is a dumb, stupid, ignorant person that see me as my peer. You can't criticize me if you never do my route, and don't worry about what you see, just judge me from the inside out.
Have you ever been a victim or witnessed to gang violence? See, I was raised in it, and for a while I bathed in it. I claimed blue so much I basically banged in it, and I was banging so hard salvation I can't get it. See, back when I was being ignorant, they'll put me on TV to make fun of the way I talked and undressed. I'm throwing up gang signs, I'm leaving them up like hang time. They go home to my prayers and praise God at the same time. I got a bunch of baby mamas all around me, but they ain't mine, so I shot him and play on the court. It's game time.
Shot him and play on the court. It's game time. Then I went and got arrested, and mama started stressing. I got out to good behavior, oh God, what a blessing. But then I got socially altered. I began to see changes around me that no longer allowed me to be one of those hoodlums in the streets. I got to get a job because my family got to eat, and I got to pay bills because I be up in the streets. Well, no one wants to hire me. All they see is a big black nigga with braids trying to work for me because he wanted to get paid. They started looking at me like they wanted to pay. I say, do you have 50? Because you won't need so many days. And I really did try to be a better me. But I got a short temper for a lot of big issues, and mama always says, son, please let it be. But I can't, mama. A black nigga, I ain't, mama. You can call me fake, mama. I don't know what to say, mama. She said, calm down, baby. Mama knows. But in my head, I'm thinking, mama knows. You don't know what I've been through, and you don't know what my life's like. I want to go back to the old me in the limelight, see. Put me on camera out at the food for you. Put me on camera out to the zoo for you. But put my girl on camera, she'll make a move for you. And give me a hit list, I'll make a move for you. See, being bad ain't all good, but I I was raised up in the hood, so if you put me on camera, I don't act like you think I should. And people think it's my fault I committed my sins, but when the hood gave me a gun, tell me, what was God doing?
Well, you got young niggas, are you crazy? Boy, bro, all y'all bring me to get out, bro. All of y'all, all y'all. Baby, I may not be able to leave you with silver and gold when I'm gone because all that stuff on face.
And I don't ever want you to dwell in the past, but instead, live your life like it's always the last day. Yeah, baby, I may not be able to leave you with silver and gold, but I can leave you with this. Stay on your ground like turntable. Listen, trust me, friends turn cold. And as soon as you need them, they'll turn it back without hesitation. So don't even expect a goodbye. And if they wasn't starving with you, don't you dare give them a piece of that pie. Yeah, baby, I may not be able to leave you with silver and gold, but don't you ever trust in a man. And if his name ain't God, he wants you to bow for yourself, you better stand. And they say every girl need a hood dude. But baby, you deserve better. Never settle for less. Make sure you stay a go-getter. And if all is going good, don't always try to make it better because life is not perfect. Mommy just wants the best for you. And sometimes she wish she had force fields so she can keep this mess from you. But I ain't gonna leave you with silver and gold, baby. And on heavy days, take your burdens to God. Trust me, he'll be up all night anyway. Why trust in something when really flesh and breath in your lungs every day, baby? I just want to tell you that I love you. Something like hurricanes, and I want you to wake up in the morning. Look in the mirror and see beauty. Baby, you are heavenly, and loving yourself is your God-given duty.
Mommy and Blue like beauty or true worth or anything else. And I ain't gonna leave you with silver and gold, because instead I'll leave you with knowledge. Get yourself a good education, baby. I know you can surpass college this year. Most boys only walk one thing, so you ain't gotta rush into it. I know you gotta crawl before you walk, but in my eyes, you already have wings. So if you ever fall, just fly, butterfly. Just fly. If you never doubt yourself, remember you are a queen's daughter. God Christ is the joy of the baby. He made you. You are a floodgate of heaven, so let your blessings pour through. No, I ain't gonna leave you with silver and gold, because you already know how to stack your own paper. But even when you panicking, they can never see you sweat. And in case you haven't realized, you are one thing that I will never regret, baby. You are heir to the throne. Come and claim your space. Don't stand for no foolishness, and they will always respect your place, and you ain't gotta rush into it. You can start off at a slow pace, because remember, it took Abraham almost all of his life to get it right. Don't aim for perfection. Professionals build the Titanic and amateurs build the Ark. Are you getting this lesson? Learn from your mistakes. Don't let them eat you alive. Even when you struggle, and smile and let them know that you still survive. But baby, perfection is key. Don't let them drag your name in the dirt. They trying to outdo you. Now why would you let them come out first into you? You are a masterpiece. Know your worth. Be down to earth and let that full-on flag thirst. You ain't gotta try. It comes natural for you. Don't be hypocritical and let that poetic side flow straight out of you, baby. Your walk is lyrical, so stay beautiful and bold. And remember, mommy loves you. This ain't gonna leave you until it's over with. No one ever said anything about diamonds. No one ever said anything about diamonds.
Silver and gold. Silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. No fame, no fortune, no riches untold. I'm concerned for my generation. The youth of today often seal away everything that they deal with, and it feels like the struggle has never been more real than it is now. Still, somehow we manage to ignore the loud cries for help and melt down until we're oblivious to the dilemma that needs to be dealt with. I'm concerned for my generation. It seems like our minds are trapped and confined and wrapped up with ropes and cords and lines and vines, combined with the deceptive perception of a correct state of mind. Unlike this state of mind, they're surrounded by an ocean of regret, and I fret to mention the fact that they can't swim to freedom because there are sharks in the water that represent their demons. I'm concerned for my generation. Because unlike generations past, we generate a vast amount of mental barriers like bulletproof glass, because although it seems unbreakable, it's transparent, and it's apparent that our parents can see through, but they can't seem to get us to open up our hearts and renew ourselves. I'm concerned for my generation. Because although we seem okay on the surface, on the inside we're depressed and
Suppress the urge to confess this, and the amount of stress that we're under is evident in the gray hairline. Fractured dreams got us stuck in a rut, and it feels like we're captured. Kodak might help you to picture this: a fish in a bowl, not a soul to talk to. Being constantly tormented by the temptation of the outside world. It's easy to see, but you know that you can't leave because you can't breathe out there, and it's not fair that you're forced to be filled with contempt towards the contents of your environment because you can't be anywhere else. I'm concerned for my generation. All around the world, it seems that teens are so tired of their lives they decide to commit suicide, and I feel like my hands are tied because I can't find a way to fix it. And they split their wrists just to take their mind off what hurts the most, and most don't realize why, but it's because when they reach their hands in the air, nobody's there to pull them up. Enough is enough.
Big poet.
I know I'm not the only one who wants to see this generation succeed. So let's proceed without proceeding and start defending our youth, because it's surprisingly easy to be set free from mental bondage just to live with the truth. You know what you need to do. This generation is dependent on you.
We were given eyes to see, hands to feel, ears to hear, and mouths to speak. However, we see, touch, hear, and speak things we're not supposed to. But when the time comes, we don't. This method develops mental handicaps, revolutionizing into insecurities. This gives us an excuse to create poor excuses like, I just care. Oh, and my favorite, I just care. Tell my all of this to protect ourselves from fear, but how much of ourselves can we protect? Because the shield isn't big enough. This shield doesn't suffice because I cry. This shield doesn't suffice because I become angry. This shield doesn't suffice because we lose too frequently. We lose love, we lose passion, we lose motivation, we lose limbs, we lose drive, we lose ourselves. And try not to lose. And confined in this mental clinic due to the struggle with the elements of what we want, what we need, and what people think. In my time of adolescence, I learned how to mold these elements. I know what I need is more true than what I want. And I only care what people think as it relates to what I want and need, because my shield doesn't repel the pity society goes on me. I have to patronize those subjects to prevent the status of becoming a victim. You see, folks like that are judgmental. And that's a mentality we need to step away from. Now stop!
Now stop! This lack of progression and the repeating cycles of generations to come. We need to seize the handicaps we claim we have, because it's blinding our eyes of what we need to see, deafening our ears to hear, paralyzing our touch to feel, and muting our voices to speak, resulting in a disability to learn. We must make the change to prevent our grandchildren and their children's children mentality of being shot with an official certified handicap. The change must start from within ourselves.
What if I close my eyes sometimes? When I open my eyes, when I hear those who cry, when I see those lit torches, or when I feel those bullets that are racing against one another to get to me. Nothing but my shadow as my outer shell. My heart's kicking and screaming through my chest, crying, help me! I got nowhere to run to be happy, so I stay sad. But all this pain cannot amount to the pain of this thing called segregation has continued to rape me of my insides and whip me of my outsides. And they say blacks and whites are supposed to have each other's backs, but backs got turned backwards when forwards was the way we were supposed to go. Fights that were fought were lost, and suddenly the sight of whose balls disappeared. My life got harder to live, so I ran into the night with the fog that followed. I ran until my feet bled and my knees got weak. It was until then I realized that I was in a fight against society for my life, with no one or nothing by my side but my hands, because at the end of the day, my fists were my only friends.
Born a sense of sight that is free.
But for some of us it's funny because we still can't see poverty,
mental illness,
lies,
destruction,
slavery,
emptiness.
We speak as one. Shades of different colors, but we speak as one.
Shades of different colors, but before we even made our first move. The greatest country in the world is the greatest source of ignorance. The whirlwind of revolt from hatred among the earth's atmospheres that break boundaries and move mountains of both mental and physical violence. We are corrupt. They expect me to be proud of a country that attaches no questions asked, who worships the dollar instead of God, but still expect you to believe in the Bible they spilled another country's blood on.
We display that excuse on the news. It's okay to be belligerent, to close our eyes and fire. Pray for the innocent shot because in our heads it's okay to kill for a greater cause.
They say it's okay to kill for the greater cause, but the land of the free state is taken when it really isn't ours.
The mind tends to play tricks that invoke alone to smoky woods of torture, leaving many to drown in the rivers of regret and molestation of the mind. Later to impregnate the thoughts of self-destruction, we are men dead. I found a girl with flowers in her hair and love in her eyes. As the years went by, the destruction in her increased and all the flowers died. She wore a mask that meshed with her face to help her lose herself. She reached for the sun but burnt her hands on the ladder given to help. The weak will crumble and the strong will flourish. Did you hear? The weak will crumble, but the strong will flourish. And no, the way of justice isn't bankrupt, but injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, said the king. But how they can be salvation from those who endanger the life of others' dreams, it just don't make sense. No, it just don't add up how a survival month seems because we try to walk around here like we aren't dead, so we multiply. Multiply the world population of children. But don't forget to listen to the cacophony of the indirect killings, yet it's loud. I know you hear it. So try to take your hands with your ears, just deal with it because I have long ago woken from the dream of it all. With the weight of the world on our shoulders, we will soon fall.
Down, down, down we fall like Alice down the rabbit hole, our love shrinking into basically nothing. Just as easy as taking a sip of water with a magic pill, swallowing madness and apathy with every single gulp. We're all mad here because we've all been mad with fear for far too long. With a gun in your hand, you're always considered strong. Strong enough to shoot up schools or blow up buildings and take the lives of people you've never even locked eyes with. I've locked eyes with too many people who have left me like pulling baby teeth, losing parts of me I thought I needed, but what I really needed was salvation from this havoc I'm surrounded by. So in a country that's land of the free and home of the brave, our stories are not heard because we are still slaves.
Just remember,
We own you!
but we are your game changers, dream chasers, and playmakers, and we're not pretending. This world is ours for the taking, so if you want to be a part of this great society, we need you to show us
That you are brave!